Project Soloman is the most recent recruiting campaign for the British Army. The TV commercials, which invite our audience to take part in missions, direct potential recruits onto a website where the individual can test themselves with a series of interactive challenges. And there they can discover their suitability and the skills required for all the different jobs that are on offer in the Army. Our job was to deliver all the filming for the TV commercials, the 12 web films, and lots of live action elements for the interactive online missions. We worked very closely with the gaming specialists, helping them to plan the missions and to work out how we could knit all the elements together. The challenge for us at the COI was threefold. Firstly, we had to find a suitable country in which to film all the locations. This isn't easy, as we needed to find dry, arid and desert conditions and somewhere where the Army already had a base. That's so that we could draw on all the equipment already in the country, the vehicles, weapons and tents, etc. Secondly, we have to find and cast the soldiers, take them on location and away from their daily jobs. This in itself is a huge challenge. Thirdly, the project required that we worked with an advertising agency, a digital agency and their gaming suppliers, pulling all the creatives together and planning completely an integrated shoot. For instance, we had 2 sets of creative teams, a stills photographer and gaming specialists, all had very specific requirements that we had to plan and film.
Kenya doesn't have a filming infrastructure, a very, very basic filming infrastructure. If you're taking in people from the UK, from France, from South Africa, you're looking after soldiers, you've got a total crew and cast of 120 people, and you're 2.5, 3 hours drive from your nearest city or watering hole or anywhere safe accommodation. And the biggest challenge is how. We had to build a camp to put up all our cast and other soldiers and crew, which added up to about 120 people. So our logistic people on the ground, Ginger Inc., hired a safari company who put together a lot of tents and toilets and showers and mess tents and created an environment that we could all live in for 2 weeks. And they did a fantastic job. I think everybody who was there will never forget that experience. The equipment was specifically designed for this job. We hooked up with Extreme, who are one of the country's leading specialist camera outfits, outlined what we wanted, and they pretty much built the kit to our spec, including conditions and weight and everything.
The camera system that we managed to bring together is a huge collection of bits of kit from all over the planet that didn't exist literally a month or 2 months before the actual shoot started. Dozens and dozens of different specialities, different technologies were all brought together to produce one device that would finally give us the results we needed, which we needed to have a system that was portable, as lightweight as it could possibly be, would cope with the excessive temperatures and the excessive dust, and would actually be reliable and robust enough to go through a guy operating a mortar, blowing a mouse hole in a wall, and charging around like a mad thing for several weeks in the desert.
It was great, but it was tricky. What you have is obviously carrying the physical thing that you're carrying on your back. You've got all the hard drive, all the microwaves, which were sending signals to all the monitors so that people could view it back. You've got the recording device, and you've got a couple of fans in there keeping the thing cool. So it's quite a kind of heavy, achy bit of kit. And if you ever worn any kind of like rucksack after 4 or 5 hours, you start to feel it. It doesn't matter who you are. And then you think you've got like 12 days of this and it's wearing you down. So it's that kind of part of it. And then you've also got this very claustrophobic feeling with this head unit, which basically we used a climbing helmet and attached a camera to it and a counterweight on the other side. But it has to physically clamp to your head. So you screw it down onto your head, pressurizing your head so that you can get stability in the shot. Otherwise you end up with a really wobbly kind of shot. And we realized that you had to put the pressure on your head to gain the stability, which was really uncomfortable. I mean, I used to just tighten it up and think, oh God, not again. And after a while I just didn't want it on, and in the heat and everything. And then we've got these glasses on front of us, which are 2 functions really. One is has a little black patch in front of it because we all have a dominant eye. So we had to block out my right eye so that my left eye would look at this tiny little monitor, which is a little monitor which kind of wraps around, a very kind of sci-fi space age thing, but it just wraps around your face and puts the image right in front of your eye. It's kind of projected about that kind of size when you're looking at it, but it's very close to your eye, and it is. So you've got one eye blacked out, one eye in front of a monitor. In fact, you do this at home, you'll see what I mean. One eye blacked out, one eye in front of a monitor, and now run with a gun and all the kit after that guy, and you'll understand what it's like to do.
I was there to basically take in that footage and edit it together, the different shots together, to then show him every sort of couple of hours. He'd come and look at the edit and go, okay, what are we missing, what's working, what's not working. Because this was a very kind of pioneering technique in terms of it's all from one point of view. It's a whole new world of, you know, how do we edit this? And we found very quickly on things like OP that it needs to be really carefully edited together because it's all very much one fixed position.
OP, which is observation post. We're observing a desert scene. We're defending an oil well, and some vehicles approach, and what do we do? So we don't know if they're enemy vehicles or they, you know, people that come to service the equipment. We don't know. So a shoot like that, which you'd think would be like pretty simple, just look left, look right, observe the thing, became really complicated because I didn't know how to cut it. How do we move from this fixed position and jump through the narrative? We can't really use jump cuts because it's all real time. It all happens in 30 seconds, so it has to kind of feel, but I also want it to be engaging for the audience to watch, and I also have to do a series of things like look through binoculars, and I need that to edit, and that was the simplest film that you look at was actually the hardest film to make because you couldn't cheat time with the camera, and you only learn that when you make it.
Well, this is my second outing working for the British Army, and I just think they're fantastic. Their organisational skills are second to none. Their timekeeping is amazing. Their discipline is superb. Their professionalism, again, is absolutely outstanding. And we had Sergeant Major Silito with us, who coordinated the troops.
We don't use actors for any of this. We go out, we cast them, we find these guys. They're really quite extraordinary people. And my whole perception of what squaddies were like and what I'd have to deal with, I mean, yeah, they have a lot of fun. Yes, they work very hard, but they're great.
They're really out of their comfort zone when it comes to acting, and they find that really difficult. So my job is just to kind of coax a performance out of them, to get them to kind of relax and just be themselves, really. Play yourself. We try and make the situations obviously as real as we can, so they feel this is kind of like a reality, some kind of like filming reality. And then normally they deliver really well, and this time they were the best we've had, I think, so far.
Finding the right director and production team that could handle a project of this size was really difficult. In Michael, we found someone quite unique. He brought a relentless pursuit and enthusiasm for every aspect of the production. He and his team lavished care and attention on everything, not just the TV commercials, but right through to the smallest online elements.
Well, the vision for the project, from both Modem and Skype's point of view, and as I guess something to the COI, was to try and have this seamless integration and seamless progression from the video content into the interactive content online. That needed to happen first with the choices at the end of the TVCs, and then through the various interactive content situations that the user would then find themselves in, which were all about building confidence within potential recruits.
This method really puts the audience in a really unusual position, a really privileged position to be able to exist with these guys and work with these guys and feel like you're a part of a team. And that's what it does. It somehow, roots you to how it might feel, briefly, how it might feel to be a part of a unit and go out on patrol with these guys and experience what they experience.
The challenge for us was finding enough different scenarios which were all having to be depicted from a first-person perspective to match the way that Michael was shooting his footage. And that proved tricky sometimes. We've come up with some really interesting and clever ways of putting the user in different sets of feet, in different bodies, to try and showcase the different job roles that there are within the Army.
More and more, the producers in COI are working right across the whole spectrum, delivering not only TV commercials, but web content and interactive material. And I have to say, the Army are a great example of a client that really value our expertise.